Assalamualaikum, sir.
वालेकुम सलाम तशरीफ रखो बेटे
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so beta you are Jawad Asif.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on having qualified the written part in your first attempt.
Thank you, sir.
I see here that Lahore happens to be your favorite city.
Yes, sir.
May I ask you a couple of questions on Lahore?
Sure, sir.
Okay, can you tell me what is Chuburji? There's a monument
Yes,
called
sir.
Chuburji. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
What is Chuburji? What is its significance? एक आसान सा सवाल आपसे मैं
Sir, the significance of Chuburji can be segregated into two domains. The first one is its historical significance. It is named after Chaw Burj, four minarets that constitute Chuburji, and it was named after the daughter of Shah Jahan. Right after the death of his wife Mumtaz, Shah Jahan was taken care by his daughter
Jahanara.
Jahanara. And sir, it is also said to be as a door to the garden of Mughals, which is a village named
Not a
as
door, entrance to the
entrance
Mughal
to the
garden.
Mughal garden.
All right. Okay, thank you. Bete, can you tell me what is the significance of Kartarpur for the Sikh community?
Sir, Kartarpur holds a very significant place for the Sikh community as because of the Dera Baba Nanak. It is said that the Baba Nanak stayed there for 18 years of his life, and by the owner of and by the major village holder, he was awarded a huge land mass on which he kept on used for agriculture. Later on, he died there, and since he holds a very religious significance for the Sikh community, so that is why it holds a significance for Pakistan as well. And as Pakistan guarantees the minority rights as per the Article 36, so I believe it is significant for both Sikhs and Pakistan.
Are you aware that he is cremated there as well as buried in Kartarpur?
Yes, sir, he is cremated and buried in Kartarpur.
That's a very interesting story which you can follow up on in your own spare time.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's move on. But Biden, the new US president, has hinted that he might go back on Trump's decision to withdraw US troops from Afghanistan in May this year.
Yes, sir.
Trump had said that he will withdraw troops. Biden might go back. There is a perception that if foreign troops are withdrawn from Afghanistan, it will result in chaos and civil war. Now, what, in your opinion, would be in Pakistan's interest? Should foreign troops continue staying in Afghanistan for an extended period, or should they be withdrawn by May this year as envisaged by Trump?
So your questions can be answered in two domains. As regards Pakistan's take, I believe limited number of foreign troops should be allowed to stay in Afghanistan in order to secure the security position in the region. However, sir, as regards the withdrawal, the abrupt withdrawal of the forces, it would ultimately result into a trust deficit between Taliban and the US forces, because it has already been 14 months, 12 months, and a 14 months plan was given to them, and still none of the personnel of the forces has been withdrawn. So, and this has resulted into a catch-22 situation, because in terms of the Taliban prisoners and the US stance on not releasing them. So I believe this will ultimately deteriorate the situation in internal Afghanistan. For that, we need to consider the internal groups and power groups of Afghanistan, which is majorly based on General Ismail and Mullah Baradar and the others.
All right. I'll ask you just one last question.
Yes, sir.
Who was Alfred Nobel, and what are the Nobel Prizes?
Sir, Alfred Nobel was an innovator, and he invented dynamite. Nobel Prizes are named after his Alfred Nobel. There is an interesting story associated to Alfred Nobel. His brother died, and accidentally the newspaper published the death of Alfred Nobel instead of his brother, and it was
obituary. They published his obituary. Okay.
Yes, sir. And it was named as. Sir, I'm sorry, cannot recall the exact words, but that was the death of.
The headline in the newspaper next day was "The Merchant of Death
Yes, sir.
is dead."
Yes, sir, exactly. The Merchant of Death is dead. And that actually struck Alfred Nobel that with what words people are going to remember him. So he decided to give out all his wealth to charity, and Nobel prizes eventually were started from 1901. In this regard, only two personalities from Pakistan have been awarded Nobel
Who
prizes.
are those?
So it is Dr. Abdul Salam and Malala Yousafzai. Both of
Masha.
them have shared the Nobel prizes.
All right, good. Thank you. Over to you.
Jawad, something about the international affairs.
Yes, sir.
Will you educate us on the possibility of Pakistan to recognize Israel?
So as regards possibility, Pakistan can definitely recognize Israel, but there are multiple benefits as well as challenges associated to this. So as regards benefit, Pakistan can play a very significant role in US lobby because because Israel get to play a key role in US lobby. And as regards Kashmir, Pakistan would be able to bring the big power on the table to negotiate Kashmir with India. And sir, as regards the challenges, in my limited knowledge, if we recognize Israel will be going to make friends across the sea, and keeping in view the conditions between Israel and Iran, by making a friend across the sea, will be making a foe right at our border. So we need to consider the relations between Iran and Israel as well before recognizing Israel. And sir, secondly, as regards the religious community, I believe, sir, the religious community is also not ready to recognize and to accept the fact that Pakistan can take many political, economic, and social benefits from Israel by recognizing it. So currently, I would say that Pakistan is not close or not in a position to recognize Israel. But in the far future, I believe Pakistan can take much benefits from it.
Okay. Um, CPAC is a great trade initiative. How can it help Pakistan to industrialize and boost its economy?
Sir, definitely CPEC is a very significant step in developing Pakistan's economy, as its huge investment of $61 billion can help Pakistan to burgeon every sector of its economy. Sir, as regards how it can help, first of all, the first thing that Pakistan needs to focus upon is its western route. Along with the economic developments, it can also help Pakistan to stabilize itself politically in terms of Balochistan episode and the grievances that the people of Balochistan hold in terms of the economic development of Balochistan. For that, Pakistan needs to mobilize its allied industry with the route. Ultimately, this allied industry will burgeon the services sector, and the people will, when they will get associated with the services sector, they'll get employment. And sir, as regards the unemployment factor, there is a one little ambiguity about CPEC that it is a debt trap. Sir, I would like to also comment on it if you allow me.
Certainly, certainly. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Sir, even if it is, let's suppose for a moment, even if it is a debt trap, it is a sustainable debt trap because the investment will stay in Pakistan, the industry will stay in Pakistan. It will mobilize Pakistan's workforce along with playing a very efficacious role in Pakistan's economy. So the role and how to utilize CPEC ultimately now depends on Pakistan, how to use it for the betterment and the future of Pakistan. So I believe sir, CPEC can play a very significant and efficacious role in every sector of Pakistan.
Pakistan has given its warm waters to China, although Russia has been struggling for a long time for the warm waters. Is Pakistan going to benefit appropriately out of it?
Sir, it depends on the future policies of Pakistan, but as regards my limited knowledge, Pakistan is, of course, going to benefit from the CPEC. And sir, it is not giving the warm waters, it is about the mutual development project. It is a concept of mutual development because, as said by the Chinese president, Pakistan and China are the friends with the manifest. I'm sorry, sir, I forgot the quote, sir.
Okay. Let's move further. What are the prospects of tourism industry in Pakistan? What are major categories of tourism in Pakistan?
इसमें मैं ऐड कर दूं थोड़ा सा. And how would you, what measures would you suggest to promote international tourism in the country?
That's right.
So combine the two questions.
Sir, I would like to request to you to grant me 2 to 3 minutes to answer this question. Sir, as regards prospects, Pakistan, keeping in view its geography, its culture, its people, its religious significance, holds a very significant place in terms of tourism. And as projected by Pakistan's government, by 2025, tourism will play a key role by contributing up to 1 trillion rupees in Pakistan's economy. Sir, coming towards the categories of the tourism, there are multiple categories that include religious tourism, cultural tourism. Religious tourism includes religious sites, just like Kartarpur and other multiple sites, including Muslim tourism, Buddhism tourism, and cultural tourism, historical tourism that include Mohenjo-daro, Texla sites, and sir, recreational tourism and mountainous tourism. Recently, upon which K2 Winter Summit has been performed.
Alpine tourism, we call
Tourism,
it.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And sir, I'm sorry, sir, I forgot your question. Can you
What
please?
measures would you suggest to promote international tourism?
Yes, sir. Sir, multiple steps can be taken in this regard. First of all, Pakistan can streamline its PIA in this regard. For instance, a luggage benefit can be given to the international tourists. This would be a very short step that would not require any.
Okay, that's
huge
one.
mess.
So go on,
And
keep
sir,
counting.
And sir, along with that, in summer season, some fair benefits can be given to the tourists. For example, 40% off on the return ticket to Pakistan in June, July, because the mountainous and the KP areas are very much mobilized in terms of the mountainous tourism.
All right, that's
Alpine
true.
tourism, sir, which you said. So, and this answer, of course, the local development, the infrastructure development, better hotels to stay, and better food for the international tourists, international level hotels. That are ultimately in some definite components that should be incorporated.
Okay. Your birthplace is Lahore, and you come from Maltown.
Yes, sir.
Can you name a few literary personalities who have been residing in Maltown?
Yes, sir. There are multiple personalities. Two of them, which I know, is Sir Ashfaq Ahmed and the Fazgar, which is in F Block Model Town. And sir, there are multiple others.
Others also. Okay. ਕੁਝ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬਾਰੇ।
जी sir.
ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੂਫੀਆਨਾ ਫਲਸਫਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਹਮਾਉਸ ਤੇ ਹਮਾਉਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਕੀ ਨੇ? ਹਮਾਉਸ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਹਮਾਉਸ ਕੀ ਹੈ?
ਸਰ, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਦਿਵੋ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਵਾਦਤੁਲ ਵਜੂਦ ਤੇ ਵਾਦਤੁਲ ਸ਼ਹੂਦ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਸਰ, ਵਾਦਤੁਲ ਵਜੂਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੈ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੁਦਾ ਵਸਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਾਦਤੁਲ ਸ਼ਹੂਦ ਹੈ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਵਲੀਉੱਲਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਰੈਕਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਿਬਲਾ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਸ਼ੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੁਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਫਸਦਾ, ਹਰ ਸ਼ੈ ਖੁਦਾ ਦੀ ਬਣਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਵੱਡਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਫਰਕ ਸੀ ਦੋਵਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ।
ਅਨਲ ਹੱਕ ਨੇ ਆਖਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਆਖਿਆ ਸੀ, ਔਰ ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਫਲਸਫੇ ਵੱਲ ਇਸ਼ਾਰਾ ਹੈ? ਅਨਲ ਹੱਕ ਕਹਿਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਕੌਣ ਸੀ?
ਸਰ, ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੇਰਾ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ 'ਚ ਇਲਮ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਨਾਕਾਫੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਨਸਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਾਂਗਾ।
ਬਾਬਾ ਬੁੱਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਰੀ ਦਾ ਬੜਾ ਸਿਰਕੜਵਾਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਰ ਹੈ। ਕੀ ਖਾਸ ਗੱਲ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਬੁੱਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਵਰਗਾ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ? ਕਿਉਂ?
ਸਰ, ਬੁੱਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਰੀ ਇਸ ਸਵਾਲ ਦੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਰੀ ਇੱਕ ਤੇ ਆਮ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਨਾਲੇ ਸਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਰ ਰੰਗ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਾਸ਼ਰੇ ਦੀ ਤਕਮੀਲ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੀਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵਾਦਤੁਲ ਵਜੂਦ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਅੱਛੇ ਅਲਫਾਜ਼ਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਲਾਓ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਅੱਧਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸ਼ੇਰ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗਾ। ਸਰ, ਬੁੱਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਵਣ ਆਈਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਤੇ ਭਰਜਾਈਆਂ, ਆਲ ਨਬੀ ਔਲਾਦ ਅਲੀ।
ਇਹ ਤੇ ਰੋਮਾਂਟਿਸਿਜ਼ਮ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ। ਕੁਝ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰੋ, ਮਸਜਿਦ ਢਾਹ ਦੇ, ਮੰਦਰ ਢਾਹ ਦੇ ਜੋ ਕੋਈ ਟਹਿੰਦਾ। ਇਹ ਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ?
ਸਰ, ਬੁੱਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੇਰ ਆਖਦੇ ਪਏ ਹੋ, ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਸਮਝਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦੀਨ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਈਮਾਨ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮਸਜਿਦਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਮੰਦਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਠੀਕ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਉਹ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਸੇਜ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਰ ਹਰ ਮਜ਼ਹਬ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਆਈਡੀਅਲ ਡਰਾਫਟ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਨੂੰ ਆਈਡੀਅਲਿਟੀ ਵੱਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾ ਸਕੋ, ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਡਾਰਕ ਏਰੀਆਜ਼ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੱਢ ਸਕੋ। ਤੇ ਬੁੱਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੰਦਰ ਮਸਜਿਦ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਮਸੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੀਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰੱਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ। ਤੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਪ ਅੰਦਰ ਠੀਕ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਚੰਗੇ ਰਹਿ ਸਕੋਗੇ।
Right, gentlemen. Name any 5 buildings of the Mughal period in Lahore.
Sir, I would say Badshahi Mosque and Lahore Fort. It's then the Shalimar Bagh, the Choburji, as sir discussed before. And sir, unfortunately, I cannot recall the fifth one.
So many Jahangir's tomb,
Yes,
Noorjahan's tomb, Kamran's Baradari,
Yes, sir.
so many.
And Wazir Khan Mosque as well, sir.
Wazir Khan Mosque, a very prominent building in Lahore.
Lahore is rich in heritage. What is Gandhi's full name?
Sir, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi.
Yes, right. What are the possible challenges to the Afghan peace deal? What is Pakistan's role in it? What is Pakistan's stake in it?
Sir, as regards the challenges can majorly be segregated into two sectors: the internal challenges and the external challenges. So, internal challenges, as said, that the internal power groups of Afghanistan should be involved, because if we go through the history, it can be analyzed that every power group, whenever got a chance, it traveled to the Kabul in order to take over the government. So the current power groups that include General Ismail's group and Abdur Rashid Dostum's group, Taliban, they should be taken, all of them should be taken on board, so that even after the withdrawal of US, a peace oriented government can be ensured in Afghanistan. And sir, external challenges, as we discussed, that it is a catch-22 situation between Taliban and US. Sir, as regards Pakistan's role, Pakistan has always played a very pivotal role in establishing peace in Afghanistan.
Why?
Sir, it is because Pakistan and Afghanistan share similar geography and cultural history. And moreover, peace in Afghanistan will ultimately then establish peace in Afghanistan by maintaining the western border of Pakistan, which is 2,500 kilometers estimately. And sir, the Pashtun ethnic line, which is resident on both of the sides. In this regard, sir, the border management, the porous border, all these factors would be incorporated. And sir, there is one more interesting thing, that after New York, Karachi has become the second largest cannabis consumer after New York. And sir, for that we need to first curb all the routes that Pakistan is threatened about how would Pakistan control the drug infusion into the land. And first of all, that needs to be controlled by controlling the porous border.
Right. What about another stakeholder, a non-government stakeholder in Afghanistan? You haven't mentioned it.
Sir,
Who are those?
sir, is it? Sir, actually, I only know about two of them, which I
Taliban.
mentioned.
But the
Taliban
the
plays
most
a very important role.
Yes, sir, I unfortunately missed them.
तालिबान की इन्वॉल्वमेंट के बगैर तो पीस या कुछ फ्यूचर अफगानिस्तान का इनकम्प्लीट है.
Bilkul, sir.
Right.
Thank you so much, sir, for the valuable addition. I forgot.
Right. How can Pakistan pull itself out of FATF? First of all, what does FATF stand for?
Sir, FATF stands for Financial Action Task Force. It is a body which was formed in 1989 by 36
How can Pakistan pull out of it?
So Pakistan can pull out of it in two major contexts by implementing its decisions. The first thing is that Pakistan can implement all the suggestions that FATF has suggested, upon which out of 27, 21 Pakistan has successfully implemented them, and 6 are yet to be pending. And so more and the factor which is, I believe, even more important is that the Pakistan and the region needs to realize that this is basically a dirty game of isolating Pakistan in the region. Because if we go back to 2019, when Pakistan was put into grey list, US was the president and India was the vice president. And this has been, if we connect the dots, this has been a proper strategy upon which India has been working to isolate Pakistan. In regards dilapidating Pakistan's lobby of Turkey and Saudi Arabia. So I believe the political integration in the region would also help out in pulling out Pakistan.
Bete, concentrate on the focus on the question. How can Pakistan get out of it?
Sir, Pakistan can get out of it by implementing the economic recommendations and controlling the counter-terror financing if there is any found out by our
Money laundering.
security. Money laundering, sir. And, sir, boosting and bolstering its political lobby in FATF.
Is smog a national or a regional issue? And how can we deal with it?
Sir, comparing it with the national and regional, it is of course a regional issue because not only Pakistan but other countries of the region are also being impacted by the smog, its health issues, its other governing issues, administrative issues. But sir, more important than that, it is not only a regional but a global issue as well. And interestingly, there is no global organization and a global body that deals or to control the environmental challenges. Surprisingly, there are treaties, but United Nations has not formed any international body to control and curb the environmental degradation in this regard. There are agreements like Paris Agreement. So, sir, implementing all the global, moving towards it with a global integration, implementing green technologies, and moving to the renewable resources would ultimately.
Well, I'll extend my question. What is your view, your take on the government's initiatives to preserve environment in Pakistan?
Sir, I believe government has taken very positive initiatives in this regard. If we look at the billion tree tsunami project and the solar power plants and sir, other multiple projects that include the environmental conservation, the strengthening of environmental protection agencies, the EIA's procedures, I believe Pakistan's government has taken very significant steps. Being the 7th most vulnerable country to the climate change, Pakistan is yet playing a very significant role. And even if we consider the dilapidated condition of Pakistan's economy, then I believe the steps taken by the Pakistan's government would be magnified.
Right. That will do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Jawad, coming from Lahore.
Yes, sir.
18th Constitutional Amendment is considered to be a landmark as far as constitutional amendments in Pakistan is concerned. What do you think, why it is so significant, and why at this point of time there are voices against it also?
So as regards its significant, it is one of the major point in Pakistan's history in which Pakistan has decentralized its power and implemented the true essence of democracy. But sir, ultimately, Pakistan has to look forward to it by implementing the local government system, which the Constitution of Pakistan allows it in the form of Article 140A and 32. Because 18th Amendment without the local governments is like a skeleton without a soul. That is why I think this is the major issue, why there are questions over the 18th Amendment. So sir, it is not the 18th Amendment which is hampering the Pakistan's democracy, rather it is the democratic, I'm sorry sir, should I continue sir? Rather sir, it is the democratic culture, the lack of democratic culture and understanding, and the lack of local governments which is not ultimately helping us to generate future leaders. This is why there are multiple questions over the 18th Amendment, sir.
Can you analyze the impact of international policies of President Trump on the world?
Sir, as regards President Trump, sir, US decided to go back to the protectionist policies. And sir, most of the people compare it with the Monroe Doctrine. But sir, if we compare them and contrast them, this time US was playing a major role as a superpower. And sudden pullback from the global politics and the global roles would eventually have resulted into a power vacuum. And that is why there were some chances of multilateralism and a chaos. But right after the president and Mr. Joe Biden's office, I believe the US will realize its role and return to all the agreements, including JCPOA, TPP, NAFTA, and Afghan peace process. So I believe, sir, if we analyze Mr. Trump's policies, they might have been lucrative for the US, but not for the globe. But keeping in view the globalized world, I believe the democratic's point of view would be more lucrative for the world, sir.
What is CASA 1000?
So CASA 1000 stands for Central Asia, South Asia. It is basically an energy project between Pakistan and Tajikistan. And so there is one very interesting thing about it, that Pakistan would be importing energy through Afghanistan, which will only be in the summer season. Pakistan falls short of the electricity in summers, whereas Tajikistan has an ample electricity in summers.
Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, two countries with it, because they have
Yes.
plenty of water in summers.
I didn't know of it, sir. Thank you so much for the valuable addition. And sir, Pakistan would import the energy in summers, whereas in winters, because Tajikistan and both of these Central Asian countries produce energy through hydroelectric power. And in winters, due to the summer cap, due to the winter caps and icebergs, they are not able to produce the same amount of energy, which will ultimately help
Where
Pakistan.
does 1000 figure in all this?
Sir, it is basically used for 1000 megawatts. Pakistan would be
Some
importing.
part for Afghanistan. And
Yes,
some.
1000 megawatts.
How many surahs are there in Holy Quran?
So there are 114 surahs in Holy Quran. Yes.
You should be telling us.
Yes, sir, there are 114.
Okay. What is the length of Pak-Iran border?
Sir, if you allow me to answer it with a margin of 20 kilometers error, it is between 940 to 960 kilometers.
805.
Does it fluctuate? It's,
805.
it is fixed anyway.
Okay. Now coming on to our own region, what do you think, what are the specific issues between India and Pakistan, and resolving those core issues, we can have better relations with India?
Sir, I believe there are, as regards the current issues, I believe one issue that both of the countries have not been able to realize is that they share the same history and they share the same future, and this is a major issue that they don't realize the fact. And sir, as regards the boundary issues and the other issues, Pakistan and India have issue over Kashmir, and recently India's move to abrogate Article 370 has further deteriorated and hampered the situation. And sir, then the Siachen issue over the glacier Saltoro Ridge and the line NJ9842. And sir, moving downwards, then there is a Sir Creek issue. And sir, moving further downwards, then there is the marine issue between the coastal boundaries, because Indian submarines have shot Pakistan practicing airplanes. So there exists an ambiguity and the lack of understanding between the both countries that they share the same future and they must develop collectively.
I would like to have your analysis on textile exports of Pakistan.
Sir, Pakistan's textiles exports have always played a very significant role in Pakistan's economy, and for that, the textile hub, which is Faisalabad, is also called the Manchester of Pakistan. But sir, unfortunately, due to the electricity shortfall and the electricity issues, the textile sector has been facing multiple issues. And in order to meet the international quality standards, our major textile sector is now shifting to Bangladesh. I believe these are some major issues. I possess a limited knowledge to comment further on it.
One
Sir.
last question.
Sure, sir.
Which is the biggest cricket stadium in Pakistan?
Sir, if I'm not wrong, is it Karachi, sir?
You are right.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, time to wind up. Let's have our views. Could you please share your views, findings about the gentleman?
Okay, Jawad has a good communication skill. He talks well, talks quite well, communicates quite well. Secondly, he has appropriate analytical capability. He analyzes things quite properly, goes into details, and tries to satisfy the panel. Another positive thing about him is that he has a good grasp on facts and figures also. While elaborating his answer, he gives facts and figures also. He has, since he's born in Lahore also, he has a good knowledge about Lahore also. And especially about Maltown also. We did talk about the prominent personalities living in Maltown, and he had a good answer on that. These were the strengths that he had. Only one negative thing, that he doesn't stay as relevant as he should. So that's the only negative thing about him. Thank you.
Okay. Hasan Iqbal Sahab, aapke
Thank you,
views?
sir. I think Jawad has a good personality. He spoke very well, and on some of the issues he presented a very good analysis also. And as the honorable member said, he gives supporting facts and figures also. That way, I think he's a good candidate, and particularly at this young age, I think he displayed himself in a very nice manner, which must be given due weighting.
How would you rate him? Let's say on a count of 1 to 10.
I think he should be closer to, he should be in between 7 and 8.
7 and 8.
7 and 8. But on the negative side, I would say that he could not engage the panel as a whole. He has been focusing merely on one member who was asking him the question. He should have engaged the panel well. His eye contact should have been a little better the way he had the
little bit
knowledge.
more improved.
Thank you very much.
Ashraf Sahab.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I observed that he has a good, confident personality. He was confident. His command of English is also good. And his general knowledge was also good. But as my worthy colleague has said, that he at times gets a little irrelevant. Otherwise, overall, I would really gauge him between 7 and 10. Then his hand gestures need to be a little, adjusted and corrected. Secondly, as you mentioned, his eye contact should have been, involved. He should have involved the other members also. He was concentrating or focusing only on the member who had asked him raised the question. The other panelists should also have been included. I think that's all.
Okay, having listened to the three of you and your views, I would agree that he has a good, impressive personality. He was fairly confident and composed. He could handle pressure very well. His communication skills were good. Posture was good, but then hand gestures were okay, normal, but eye contact, I agree with the two of you. He should have engaged the four of us. But on a number of issues, he was able to engage the panel very well. 2-3-4 जगह पे उसने एक गलतियाँ ऐसी की हैं जो avoidable थी. मतलब I was surprised that a boy of his level he forgot the stakeholders in Afghanistan. Taliban का उसने नाम ही नहीं लिया and he had to be prompted. शुरू में मैंने नोट किया था, at least when he was talking to me, he was using the word domain again and again. बाद में ठीक हो गया था वो. And I found him in the beginning to be a little bit nervous. That is probably why he was fumbling with words and using the word domain. He settled down as the interview progressed. But the only negative thing I observed in him after all that has been discussed, he was speaking a bit too fast. I always advise the candidates, there is no hurry. Please do not rush your words. Listen to the question carefully and then try to answer it. In rushing his answers, he started making mistakes. But otherwise, I will agree with you, he was a way better